Okay, so the first point is that your life is going to be significantly harder than everyone else's. Now, I will preface this video by saying that this is not for people who want minimal results and multiple things, like you just kind of want to do the bare minimum. This is not going to be a healthy outlook for you, but this is more so for people who want really significant results in various different areas. So, with your life being harder than everyone else's, the first point in that is that you have way less room to waste time. These are things like social media, going out and drinking and all that kind of stuff, just a bunch of things that just really waste your time. You don't have that same room for error that many other people do. Now, I'm not saying that you have to be in your house and be a hermit all day. You still want to socialize. But if you do want significant results, understand that most of the time you have to be alone and practicing to get those results. And I know some people will not really like how that feels because you're just in isolation, I guess. But pick a time to socialize, maybe every other week or so, or every week. And on the other days where you're just practicing, keep that in mind. You need to get the reps in, you need to get a lot of practice in. And that's just how that life is. The next points are nutrition and physical care. And I put nutrition and physical care in the same area because this will dictate most of the results that you get. You know, if you're not eating a proper diet or you're not getting enough nutrients to elicit the responses that you need from your body to learn these skills, it's not really going to benefit you in the long run. And if you're not working on mobility, you're not getting strong in the gym, or you're not taking care of your body, you physically won't be able to do some things that you need to be required to do in order to build those skills. You know, myself as a piano and guitar player, one thing that I always have to work on is my mobility and posture and all that. Otherwise, I will get into having a stiff back or a neck pain and all that. And the reason I can play for so long is because I put a lot of care into that. But if I didn't, it would actually hinder my ability to play piano. It would hinder how long I could play guitar, and that is just going to significantly reduce the results that I can get over time. And same with nutrition. You know, if I'm just eating junk food every day and I'm not giving my body the proper nutrients or hydration that it needs, I still won't be able to operate as long as I want to because it just physically cannot produce the energy that I need. So these are things that you need to start paying attention to if you do want significant results in these areas. I'm not saying you have to be crazy about it. I may be a little bit extreme, but you do have to keep these in mind because they will ruin your results, whether you want to acknowledge that or not. And the next thing under this, your life is going to be a significantly harder thing, is that it will feel like work sometimes. I know these days we don't like to acknowledge interests and hobbies as work. And I do believe that it doesn't feel like work eventually. But for a while, especially when you're getting over the hill of just learning things, it will feel like work. It's going to be difficult and you're going to have to continue to force yourself through it. And that's just the way it is. But again, this is more so for people who want really significant results in several areas. The next main point of this is that your main enemy is excessive dopamine hits. Now, I'm not going to get into the science and all that other stuff, but you do have to understand that you need your dopamine and your energy for your tasks. And one of the reasons that I always say to keep social media at the end of your day is just for that. If you are scrolling, if you are obsessively watching YouTube and not really doing your things, by the time you get to those things like piano or whatever you're on my channel for, right? By the time you get to that, you're not really gonna have the motivation or energy to do it. And this is where people mistakenly think that they have to brute force everything. It's not really like that, guys. The problem is we all want to do something. We have motivation. We're just kind of using it in the wrong areas. So if you structure those things correctly, you will be able to get really good results in many different areas. Another one I want to bring up with dopamine is coffee, right? I used to drink coffee. I used to be a coffee addict, and I will make a video on this eventually, but I completely stopped caffeine in my life. That includes like dark chocolate, things like that. I don't eat any more caffeine, or I don't ingest any more caffeine, and I notice that my productivity is significantly better. Because let's be honest, caffeine is fake productivity. There's no benefit to it. And a lot of the science and studies behind it are bias from people who are addicted to caffeine. So of course they're gonna talk about these benefits. But again, I'm not telling you to quit coffee. You can do what you want. If you thrive on it, great. But I noticed that that was stealing my dopamine, basically. Coffee was significantly stealing my ability to do other things. And since dropping that, I'm able to do so much more in a day. Even though I was already at my peak performance, what I thought, I can do even more now without it. But again, I'll talk about that in another video. I just want to mention that for now in case you guys want to go look it up and look up the effects of caffeine on your overall productivity in a day. Okay, the next point, you have to treat your body and your mind like a car. Now, what do I mean by this? Cars have multiple parts, and even if some parts are out, the car will still run, but you'll have that check engine light on. And just like in life, you can have different things kind of falling away at the seams and a lot of issues going on, and you can get things done. But if you're able to address those areas, those little areas that you can, whether it be your physical health, your mental health, or anything like that, you should do that as soon as possible, because it's going to make everything else improve a lot more. There's really not much more I have to say about that. Just assume that each thing in your life is a car part, and you want to address all of them as much as you can, at least, and you, the car, will run efficiently. The next thing is you have to embrace boring repetition. Now, there's a big trend these days, unfortunately, of people trying to gamify everything and people trying to make everything easy, actually, and all this other nonsense. There's really no escape from just sitting down and doing things over and over and over again, especially if you speak languages or you want to learn foreign languages or instruments. There is no escape from just boring, tedious, over and over again repetition. Gamification and all that stuff, it only works for the people who are producing that idea to you. It never works for the consumer. A lot of people, unfortunately, get caught up in trying to make everything a little too fun, a little too, skippy, and they just miss out on the results that they really do want to have. It's better to just get that out of your life now and embrace boring repetition. If you can't say certain sentences in Japanese or Spanish or whatever you're learning smoothly, just sit down and try to say it 500 times over the course of a couple days. I promise you, by the end of that, you will say it without thinking about it. And if you continue to take that idea and you put it towards pretty much everything else you do, all these things are going to be in your subconscious, and you can just produce them on the fly. If you want to gamify boring repetition, for every 10 reps, you can run around your house or do something or pet your cat, whatever you have to do. But just understand that the number of times you do that thing will dictate the results that you get. And there's really no way around that. I don't really want to ramble on too much in this video. I just kind of want to spit these points out, and I'll continue to talk about more topics in future videos on this. But keep these things in mind. This is not the happy-go-lucky information that you're typically going to see, but it is really important. And most of you have what it takes, I think. Most of you have what it takes to get really significant results in multiple areas. You just have to structure that properly. I highly encourage you to watch part 1 of my Too Many Interests series and part 2. That's going to go into a lot of the actual groundwork of doing things. This video is kind of just a mental mindset thing and a kind of a mindset shift that you should have. Those videos have a lot more actionable steps. I would also recommend you watch my any goal video. It's how I achieve anything I want without overdoing it or overthinking it, and my anti-routine method video. I would highly recommend those 4 videos. You don't have to watch them now, but just when you can, and really implement them into your life. Watching the videos is great, but it's not going to do anything if you're not actually taking those things and doing them. This is exactly what I do to get all my results in literally everything I do, whether it be music, languages, combat sports, anything. So I give it to you all for free. I don't make you pay for anything. Please use it. Download the videos, whatever you have to do, so you don't have to keep coming to my channel. Just use the information and go get your results. Anyways, love you guys, and see you in the next one. Peace.